So if you've been watching this series, you know that there are different versions of credit scores, with FICO being the most significant one. But did you know that there are multiple versions of FICO scores? Why? Let's talk about that. Hello and welcome to this episode of Masnyk's Mortgage Minute. I'm Rick Masnyk. So a little trivia here. FICO stands for Fair Isaac Company. These two guys, Bill Fair and Earl Isaac, created this scoring system back in 1956. And it's a scoring system to measure someone's behavior with their credit activity. It wasn't until 1989 that we actually saw it show up on credit reports. Now, there are three major credit repositories: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, and each of them has a different algorithm to come up with your credit score. The reason is each of them looks at a different version of FICO. Now, there are 16 different versions of FICO scores, and they're all numbered: FICO 1, FICO 2, FICO 3, and so on. Experian looks at FICO 2, TransUnion looks at FICO 4, and Equifax looks at FICO 5. And now the reason that we get all three of those on a credit report is when we're looking for a mortgage, or when someone's looking for a mortgage, we take the middle of those three scores numerically. And that's the one that not only tells us if we're going to have someone who's qualified for a mortgage, but it dictates what their rate's going to be. Now, all of them have the same range of scores. They can be as low as 300. That's a serious problem. Or it can go up as high as 850. And as I like to tell folks, God doesn't have an 850. But I've seen plenty of folks. Only a couple of times in my 33-year career have I seen two borrowers, husband and wife, and all six scores were above 800. So obviously very responsible people. But it's very important to maintain a healthy credit score when you're trying to obtain credit. And if you're going to Credit Karma, which is the most popular place to look for your credit score, which that's the one that's showing you your Vantage score, it's okay to monitor that, because obviously if that one's going up or down, then your FICO is probably doing the same thing. There can be a huge disparity between them, but obviously if it's a healthy score on Credit Karma, your FICO score is probably very healthy too. We've talked in the past. You can go back and look at previous episodes to see where we've talked about what algorithms are used to come up with that score, what percentages of different activities will come up with that score. But in the end, you want to make sure that you're making your payments on time and you're utilizing your credit in a healthy way, meaning your limit and your balance are pretty far apart. A lot of your credit reporting agencies will tell you that you want to keep that balance around 30% of what your limit actually is. I've seen it where when someone's around the 70% mark, they still have a healthy credit score, but you never want to be tickling the limit on those credit cards. So hopefully this is information that's useful to you. If it is, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you know someone else that this information could benefit, please pass this video on to them. But for now, that concludes this episode of Masnyk's Mortgage Minute. I'm Rick Masnyk. We'll see you next time.